Hello and welcome to Make Fit Make Sense. I'm your host, Ryan Wade. And today's topic, we're going to talk about how to find the right accountability system to help you get motivated, stay on track with your goals, and ultimately reach those goals that you have in your health and your fitness. Because I see it done so many different ways, and a lot of the ways are really counterproductive. And so today, what I want to do is break down a really simple way for you to set a goal, stay accountable, stay consistent, stay motivated, and ultimately use that accountability system to see you through to the finish line. Because when you have a good accountability system, you are all of those things. You are consistent, you are motivated, you are energized by showing up, you are accountable to the goals that you have and to the processes and steps towards getting there. So let's talk about first why most people fail alone and why you need an accountability system. The first one is that you have no mirror, right? When we're doing things, when we're trying to reach a fitness type goal, we can very easily let ourselves down. We can very easily rationalize skipping because we feel this way or this thing happened to us on that day. And so really skipping is the easiest thing to do when it comes to showing up. Right? We know that showing up is the most important part of working out. And when we rationalize in our head that it's just one day of skipping and nobody is there to make sure that one day doesn't turn into 2 days, you are certainly set up to stumble on the next day as well. And that's the number one thing that we want to avoid. So the second reason is that there's very little structure when you're by yourself. If you don't have an exact system set up for you by somebody who knows what they are doing better than you do, then we're setting ourselves to kind of fly by the seat of our pants. We are just accepting all the information that comes in. If you've listened to any of the other episodes, you know that there is so much information coming at you from anywhere from Google to AI to reels and stories, and trying to figure out how to do these things on your own and not having a structure to not only set you up for success, but to pace you in the right way and make sure that you take those steps is a huge factor towards somebody becoming less successful in their fitness. When we're often reaching for these fitness goals by ourselves, there is no recovery plan, right? We've talked about floor weeks and what it is that we need to do to re-enter our habits, to re-enter our systems of success. And when there's not somebody kind of snapping at us right in the face and telling us, hey, you missed this day, what is your minimum for the next day that you can commit to me right now? That social accountability is a massive factor. Having social accountabilities, telling others what you need to do to be successful and where you want to be, helps us stay motivated and energized to show up because we are keeping our promises. As humans, we will do just about anything to show up as the person that we say we are because we're trying to avoid the pain and the suffering that comes with lying to others. And so accountability systems, not just partners, are what make the whole puzzle come together. Remember always that accountability, it isn't pressure. It's support plus reminders plus structure is accountability. And that's what we need to be able to do to stay consistent. So there's three kinds of accountability. And this is the part where you kind of need to piece together on your own. What do I need more of? I will say that you need all three, but what do you need more or less of given who you are? So the first one is your internal accountability system. If you go back and you look up the personal standard system, weekly scoreboard, and if you haven't seen that episode of how to create a good habit or how to stay consistent, the personal standard system is what we talk about. And it's going back to that floor week. How many times a week can we commit to taking this healthy action? I can have 3 glasses, 4 glasses, up to 8, 10, 12 glasses of water a week, depending on where you're starting from, how many times a week, and check those off as you go. That's one level of personal accountability. And it works best after you've built some consistency. But again, the floor weeks can help you with that. If you haven't caught that episode and you don't have that tool, you can hop in the Make Fit Make Sense community listed in the notes below And we have that tool laid out for you in the community. And by the way, you can grab any of the tools that we give away, one free with each episode released inside the Make Fit Make Sense community. So go ahead, click that link and hop on over there, grab those tools. The second one is relational accountability. And this is the one that everybody kind of thinks of first. I need an accountability partner. And this is one person who checks in on you. And this works best with adults that I am energized with people and I can be committed to a friend, a partner, a coach. But relational accountability, what I find is that the deeper your relationship with someone, the less effective they are at holding you accountable because they are worried about your well-being and your discomfort is a negative to them. They want to see you happy. And that's a good thing, obviously, but when they see you unhappy or uncomfortable, which becoming healthier does take a level of uncomfortability, right? Then they become more lenient with you. So the biggest example I see people all the time come into my gym with a partner, and they are often the people who fail the quickest, if they fail at all, because one person says, I can't do it today. That person says, well, why can't you do it today? And they say, well, I had this uncomfortable thing happen. My energy's low. And then they have more tolerance for that. And when one person falls off, a lot of times the other person then falls off. Your goals together are going to be different. When you have an accountability partner, your goals are different and for different reasons. So having a really defined why, you need to define your why, not your partner's why if you have an accountability partner, because what's important at the deepest level to you is not necessarily going to be what's important at the deepest level to them. And what you need to do if you are using an accountability partner and you're somebody who really wants to use that accountability partner is to have that person buy into your why for you. It's going to make you uncomfortable. And for them to know that, hey, you have to let me be uncomfortable. You have to allow yourself to see me uncomfortable because that's the only way I'm going to get to my goal. And it's for these reasons why, and they will understand if they have connected to that. But simply by saying, I want to insert goal here, gain muscle, lose fat, have more energy, more stamina, strength, you name it, you have to be bought into your accountability partner's why for them and not just their goal. Number 3 is structural accountability. And I think this is the main one. And it's having a coach, having an appointment, and having a check-in plan that happens every single week consistently on autopilot. And this is why having a professional help you reach these goals is the most effective way to go about it, because they have likely coached and trained many, many, many others who they now have a system built on how to make things easier for you. You're literally paying them for other people's successes and failures to not waste as much time as the people who have come before you. It's the same thing as having a mentor. People go to a mentor for success because that mentor has tried and failed at things, and they're just there to teach you from their failures to speed up your success. And that's worth it in spades if you do it correctly and if you are committed to that coach and that environment. So most adults, we need more structure in our accountability. We don't often need the perfect accountability partner, but we do need the great why and a standard for who we are, what we are becoming, and what we need to do to get there. So what I want you to do is go back and think about, do you need more internal accountability, environmental accountability, or another accountability partner or person, and decide what accountability level you need in each of those areas. Do you need somebody who you can just talk to about unfiltered about all the things that you're doing at home? I think that's the best version of accountability partner, is somebody who you can vent to, because you have that safe space to go ahead and get out all the stresses of life and allow yourself to thrive on your own in the structure with a mentor or with a coach in a community, in an environment that is set up specifically for your type of success that you are looking for the reasons you are looking for. Then you want to go ahead and you want to look at your personal accountability system. Set your weekly standards and your floor week for when if you are to fall off, if you are to skip a day, the bare minimum of what you need to do either that day or the next day to get back on track immediately, and use that system to allow yourself to stack success wins. All right. So, for example, you can exercise or strength train for 15 minutes. It's a very small number. You can go for a walk or two 10-minute walks a day. You can have protein with at least 2 meals a day. Set those standards low to begin and review weekly and add as you go, giving yourself that internal accountability and ability to scale and grow and improve as you continue to challenge yourself and continue to see success. So, three standards would look something like this. When's my next workout? Today is day. My next workout is day at time. Check my calendar, make sure that it's clear. I hit standard. One adjustment I can make next week to improve my standard is blank. All right. It's not the size of the plan. It's the repetition of the check-ins and the structure of the system that allows you to grow and improve. So what's the secret weapon? And this is what I've literally spent over a decade perfecting. And that is a community that you show up and feel really comfortable around. The busy adults, right, like you, it's unique. The fitness world is not set up necessarily for you to succeed. All right. The fitness world loves people who are already fit. And so finding a place that accepts and makes you comfortable is what's going to allow you to take that first step in your fitness. If you are somebody who's gotten away from workouts for a while, or somebody who's just starting to work out for the first time, you have to find a place and a group and a community that understands that. Because the first part of you being successful is becoming comfortable and happy in your environment. A lot of times you'll hear in fitness, hey, pick something that you enjoy. And there's some credence to that. I think that's a good way to get started. But at some point, you have to do the things that are directly correlated to your specific goals. Like boxing is not going to necessarily make your muscular strength stronger. And so we want to find the things after we have gotten comfortable. We need to then be comfortable in an environment that's going to challenge us and push us, which by nature is a little bit uncomfortable. But the people around you making that environment a better place, making sure that you are comfortable, your vibe is just going to be elevated that much more, and allow yourself to be more open-minded to the things that are a little bit uncomfortable that are going to push you to reach that next level of standard for yourself to reach your goals. It also, improves your follow through because you're showing up to see these people and they ask where you are when you're not there. It reduces friction because, again, the system of a community is to rely on other people's life experiences and to speed up other people's progress based off the failures that people have had before you so that you learn from them and you continue to improve and grow. It also shortens setbacks. Again, people are going to pull you up faster because they're people who are right there doing the things that you are doing along with you. Discomfort in a group bonds people faster than any other way anything possibly could. If you think about things like a, a military type of group or something like that, it's bonded through discomfort. And I think if you take just the basis thought in that of being around people who are like you, allowing yourself to want to be there, gaining energy from then being there, doing things that are first comfortable, but then starting to bond over things that are uncomfortable, I think that really starts putting the pedal to the floor and accelerates your progress. So again, first thing that we want to do, we want to have small asks of ourselves. We want to have a way for us to participate easily. Then we want to have a clear weekly rhythm. We want to be in a habit of doing this specific thing on this specific day at this specific time so that we know we're not going to miss. And we have the others around us to check in on us to allow us to, one, vent and get out frustration, but then also two, to keep our eyes set on what is next and our why of why we're there, what we're there to do, and why that's important to us. So think about that why and think about it vividly. And if you aren't sure, start with your goal and ask yourself why that's important, and come up with your next answer and ask yourself why that's important, and do that like 6, maybe 7 times to get to the deepest level of like, why am I really here? I think we want to be stronger. We want to be toned. Those are all very surface level. There's a reason for you wanting those things, and allowing ourselves to be open to that reason really lights a fire under us to be able to stay motivated and set the accountability system up in all these other areas. Admittedly, this is difficult and it's uncomfortable, right? Like thinking about, I have to set somebody up to hear me when I'm frustrated. I have to set myself up with structure, which may feel restrictive at times. I have to allow myself to be uncomfortable around a place of other people that I haven't met, or in a system that I am not always 100% sure why I'm doing that specific system, but I just know that it's worked for others ahead of me. These are all things that take a level of trust. I just think that a lot of us, when push comes to shove, trust is a difficult thing in the world. But allowing ourselves to be open to those levels of accountability is really what sets us up holistically to, again, thrive. So if all of this is, you've gone through, you've set up your why, you've looked at your internal accountability system and set your personal standards. You've looked at your environmental accountability and you've set yourself up with a structure and an environment of others who you are comfortable being around. And then you've also set yourself up with a personal accountability partner, which is somebody that you can vent your frustrations to and just talk to openly and freely, to open up space to take on more challenge. It's a lot of work, but if it's something that you're willing to do for your goals, then it's always worth it. And, I do have this thing called the Stronger Before Summer 21-day cohort. And that's exactly what we set that up for, is to allow you to have all of these accountability systems in place from day one so that you can be ultimately successful as humanly possible. So if you liked what we had to talk about here today and you want to become more accountable, we are here to help you at Make Fit Make Sense, whether it's with us or just through our free community. You can grab that link again in the show notes with whatever platform you're watching us on, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.